Rumors Ellen was far from nice were out there for years. What was your reaction to the toxic workplace controversy?
I felt that it was in the hands of the people who needed to speak their truth. I hadn't spoken to Ellen in years, and I feel that the stories that need to be listened to are being told. And I told Ellen that I needed to have friends. She said she did not want to have a girlfriend.
Exactly 1 week after she crashed her car into a house in Los Angeles, actress Anne Heche.
Anne Heche died in August 2022 after a very strange and serious car crash. But here's what makes people so uncomfortable about it. Right before she died, she was reportedly getting ready to go public with some very big information about Ellen DeGeneres. And that information? It allegedly connected Ellen to a powerful secret group of wealthy people, the same group tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, new reports are coming out, and a lot of people are asking the same question. How close was Ellen actually to Epstein and his circle? And was Anne Heche really about to reveal something huge before she suddenly died? These are fair questions. Not because we have all the answers, but because the timing feels too strange to just brush off. The people involved, the events leading up to her death, and the connections being reported, none of it adds up easily. We looked through the reports carefully. We studied the timing, we looked at the patterns, and what we found is genuinely surprising. This is not about pointing fingers without proof. It is about asking honest, straightforward questions when something does not feel right. So stay with us, because the details we are about to share are the ones most people are not talking about out loud.
Shocked.
Have you spoken to Anne Heche at all since her accident?
Have not.
Do you want to...
We're not in touch with each other, so I wouldn't know.
August 5th, 2022 started as a normal day for Anne Heche. She had no idea it would be her last. That afternoon, her blue Mini Cooper crashed straight into a house in the Mar Vista area of Los Angeles. The impact was so severe that a massive fire broke out. Both the house and her car were completely engulfed in flames. It was sudden, it was violent, and it left everyone with questions.
Today, the street that cuts Mar Vista from Venice had its silence cut by a speeding blue Mini Cooper and its driver, who failed to brake before running a stop sign and into a house. This house, it clipped the curb over a short stone wall, through bushes, then straight in.
It erupted into flames, so not just the vehicle, but the entire home, to where we had to fight a structure fire at the same time.
Anne was trapped inside that burning car for nearly 49 minutes. Firefighters finally pulled her out and rushed her to the hospital, but she never woke up. A week later, she was gone. Her family made the difficult decision to take her off life support, and her organs were donated, just as she had always wanted. Her death was officially ruled an accident. Authorities found no evidence of foul play. That is the official story. But people are not fully satisfied with that. Here is where things start to get strange. On the very morning of the crash, around 10 a.m., Anne walked into a store called Glass Hair and bought a bright neon red wig. Just hours later, she was in that crash. That small detail sparked a lot of questions, and it was only the beginning.
She looked up top and said, "Hey, can I buy that red wig?" I said, "Sure." So I went up to grab it for her. I told her, I said, "It's not cut or styled." She says, "No worries, I want it anyway."
Did she appear in any way inebriated or drunk or impaired?
She did not. She wasn't slurring her words. She had bright, beautiful blue eyes.
The store owner described Anne that morning as kind, polite, and most importantly, sober. That last word matters, because later, some media reports claimed she was intoxicated at the time of the crash. But the store owner saw no signs of that. Anne bought shampoo and conditioner. She chatted normally. She was just a regular person running everyday errands. Then, around 10:30 a.m., Anne was spotted at a storage locker or garage. Her car appeared to have bumped into something there. People suggested it was a minor accident. But when you look at the footage, there was no real damage visible. And then things took a turn.
No, out of the car. Out of the car.
A man appeared and started yelling at her, demanding she get out of the car. Anne ignored him and sped off, nearly hitting him as she left. That raised an immediate question. If she was calm, sober, and perfectly normal just 30 minutes earlier, why did she suddenly behave like that? That was the first red flag, but it was far from the last. About 30 minutes later, Anne's Mini Cooper was caught on camera, flying down a quiet residential street at somewhere between 70 and 90 miles per hour. Let that sink in. Nearly 90 miles per hour on a suburban street. The video also captured a squealing sound, which many believe was the emergency brake being engaged. But here's the part that stopped investigators and online researchers cold. There were no skid marks on the road, not a single one. When a driver hits the brakes at that speed, skid marks are almost guaranteed. The fact that there were none suggests she either never tried to stop or simply could not. And then there is the video itself. People were quick to question it. Why was someone randomly recording on a quiet side street at the exact moment Anne's car flew past? The timing felt too precise to be accidental. Was Anne actually in control of that car? Or was something else going on? But moments later, Anne's car slammed into a house at full speed. The impact sparked a fire that quickly spread, swallowing both the car and the home in flames. Anne was trapped inside. But here's the disturbing part: she was still conscious. She was still responsive. Neighbors rushed to help, but for reasons that remain unclear, no immediate rescue attempt was made. She stayed trapped in that burning car, aware of what was happening around her, while nearly 49 minutes passed before she was finally pulled out.
In cursive, I say that, if people are impaired, they speak in cursive, but it's like you're slurring your words. But she wasn't. She was very, very cordial, very personable, very polite. And like the whole encounter was maybe 10 minutes. So it wasn't huge, but it was strange all the same and random.
Then came the rescue. Or what should have been a rescue. Firefighters took nearly 50 minutes to pull Anne out of the car. They used a winch. For a single trapped person, that response time struck many as unusually slow. And here's another detail that made people pause. 56 firefighters showed up to handle the scene. 56. For one car fire and one house fire. People who studied the response say that number seems excessive, way beyond what a fire of that size would normally require, almost as if they were stalling, waiting for something or someone. But the most haunting detail came from the footage itself. As Anne was finally pulled from the wreckage, she was wrapped in a white cloth, the kind typically used for someone who has already died. But Anne was not dead. She was still alive, still conscious, and she sat up.
And what we just learned a few minutes ago was that a neighbor in this area actually ran to this scene in his flip-flops. He got the homeowner out of her home safely along with her pets. We also learned that he tried to get actress Anne Heche out of her vehicle as well, but with all of the smoke and the flames, he felt like that would not be the best idea, so he waited for those paramedics to arrive. But obviously, very heroic actions from that neighbor.
Now here's where things get even more interesting. Modern technology already allows vehicles to be controlled remotely. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is documented public policy used in certain law enforcement situations. So the question some people are asking is simple. Could that technology have been used on Anne's car that day? There is no proof. But the question refuses to go away. So why would anyone want to silence Anne Heche? Reports suggest she was working on a documentary exposing disturbing behavior among Hollywood's most powerful people, including connections to Jeffrey Epstein's network. Allegations surfaced that Ellen DeGeneres and several producers from her show may have had ties to Epstein's circle. One executive producer, Kevin Lehman, was publicly accused of serious misconduct at company events. Multiple people said he acted completely untouchable despite repeated complaints. Ellen reportedly did nothing until public pressure forced her hand. All of this is on record. Some online investigators also pointed to something visual. The Ellen show set was decorated in blue and white. Epstein's properties, including his infamous Island Temple and his Manhattan townhouse, shared the exact same color scheme. Coincidence? Possibly. But people noted it anyway. Then there is something that requires no theory at all. Anne's own words. In a resurfaced podcast interview from June 2021, Just 1 year before her death, Anne spoke openly and directly about Ellen DeGeneres. She said Ellen manipulated her for years. She said Ellen damaged her career deliberately. She even claimed Ellen conspired with her own mother to have her institutionalized. Anne was not whispering these things privately. She said them out loud on her own platform, under her own name. She was not afraid of Ellen. She was furious. Now look at the timeline. June 2021, Anne publicly accuses Ellen of manipulation and career sabotage. Throughout 2021 and into 2022, Anne is reportedly building a documentary exposing Hollywood elites and their Epstein connections. August 5th, 2022, Anne's car crashes under deeply strange circumstances. No skid marks, emergency brake sounds on the recording, 56 firefighters, and Anne, still alive and conscious, wrapped in a white cloth normally reserved for the dead. No official report has confirmed any connection between these events. None. But the pattern is what keeps people talking. And Anne is not the only name in this conversation. 4 people connected to Ellen DeGeneres died under circumstances that raised eyebrows. Kat Perkoff, killed in a car crash. Her vehicle split in half, no skid marks. Anne Heche, car crash, no skid marks. Leslie Jordan, a medical emergency behind the wheel. Twitch, whose death came with very few clear details. 4 people, 4 unusual deaths, all connected to the same person. Coincidence? That is for you to decide. Here is where we land. Anne Heche's death was officially ruled an accident. There is no confirmed evidence of foul play. But the unanswered questions, the strange timing, the missing skid marks, the excessive emergency response, the documentary she was allegedly working on, and her own recorded words about Ellen, none of it sits comfortably. The more people look into Ellen DeGeneres' inner circle, the more questions they find, and the fewer clear answers appear. So we will leave you with this. Was Anne Heche's death a tragic accident? Or was something darker happening just beneath the surface? What do you think?